Today is December the 12th, and I could not get the video to record yesterday, or it recorded and then it froze up in the middle of it. So today I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over this whole study guide, going through each problem so that when you do tonight's study guide, you kind of have it to look at. It's a lot of the same stuff, okay? So starting out, this is the round one, or the first part of the study guide. Okay, it says, what is the solution to the problem in lowest terms? 2, 3, and 5, 6 divided by a half. Okay, personally, I like to rewrite it only because this one takes some work to get it all fixed up. Okay, so I need to do 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 23/6, divided by 1/2. Since it is division, check your paper. Did you keep, change, flip it? We're going to keep 23/6, change to multiply, and flip it over. Now, right here is where I personally would cross simplify. I would do 2 into 2 once, 2 into 6, 3. Gives me 23/3, which simplifies. 3 goes into 23, 7, and there's 2 left over out of 3. So 7 2/3. I'm going to be honest, that, for the simplifying part of it, on the 9 weeks test, it is A, B, C, or D. There's 24 questions. That's probably one of the answer choices, 23/3. Don't choose it. It's got to go to the simplest form. Okay. Number 2, a lot easier. It is already multiplying. Multiply straight across because nothing simplifies. And it is 21/100. Be careful. Make sure you didn't put 10. That one's kind of a tricker. Because you got to literally multiply them. 10 times 10. Uh-huh.
I put for number 1.
Uh-huh.
I got 2 and 5 ninths.
Did you flip that second fraction? The 2 once? Okay.
But instead of 8, I got 18 under the 24.
Ah, okay. Oh, 8. No, wait a minute. I will say this. 23 on top. Is that what you had? Okay, so the bottom, all it is that should be that same bottom number that's right here, which is a 6. Does that help a little bit? Like that should be a 6. Okay? I would think you probably just did 6 times 3 and just made it 18. You know, just an accident. Okay, let's look at number 3. Smiley poured 1 1/5 cup of water into each glass. He has 10 glasses. How much water did Smiley pour? Think about it. You know, if you're sitting there pouring a bunch of water, it's times 10. Now, you want to slow down. Some of my friends in my other classes, it's like you're going too fast. Make sure you write it down. Make sure you do the steps. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6/5 times 10/1. I had someone that did 1/10. Make sure the 1 is on the bottom. Okay. I would cross simplify myself, leaving me with 12/1, which is 12. So it is 12 cups of water. Uh-huh.
I flipped it instead of...
Don't flip it though, because it is, you would flip it if it was division. Okay? It's multiply because if you really think about, all those cups being lined up, okay, think about you're really adding 1/5 and 1/5, 1 1/5 and 1 1/5 and 1 1/5. But when you're adding something repeatedly, that's when you multiply. Does that make sense? So if you think about, and I know my drawings are nothing to, but if you had 10 glasses sitting there, and each one has 1 1/5, does that make sense? That's why it's that times 10. Does that help a little bit? Okay. I know it's goofy, but if it'll help. Okay. The next one they've already set up for you, which is kind of nice. It's just, since it's divided by 4, but you've got to slow down. You would do 5/8 divided by 4 once. On division, keep change flip. Keep 5/8 times 1/4. Okay, be careful. None of this simplifies. You can't simplify 2 bottoms. It would have to be a top and a bottom. So, 5 is just multiplied. It's 5/32s. 5/32s.
I keep putting the 1 over that number.
Be careful. It starts out under. If you think about 4 and you want to change it, 4 divided by 1 is 4. But 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. Does that make sense? So when you write it that first time, it should equal that before you flip it. Okay? I always used to say sling it over a 1, which I know is not great English, but I always think of write it and sling it over a 1. So, okay, number 5. Frank wants to bake a cake. A large cake calls for 3/4 cup of sugar. Frank wants an even larger cake. He wants to double the recipe. How much sugar will he need if he doubles the recipe? What kind of math is that? Multiply. So 3/4 times 2, which is officially 3/4 times 2 over 1. That's what's gotten a few people. 2 will go into 2 once. 2 will go into that twice. That is 3 over 2, which is 1 1/2. Listen, this is the math I do cooking, especially around holidays, big events, things like that. When you're doubling and tripling those recipes, you can't just double one item, because if you don't double all of them, it's not going to taste right. Definitely something that we use out there. Okay. Number 6. These have gotten a few kids, only because they went too fast. Listen, the answer's not 40. Yes, it says denominator. And yes, it says multiply. And yes, 8 times 5 is 40. But you've got to work it out. You've got to do 3 times 4 is 12. 8 times 5 is 40, because this thing simplifies. You could have cross-simplified here. But 2 goes into this, 4. 4 goes into this 3. 4 goes into that 10. 10 is the denominator. Remember, denominator's on the bottom.
I got that first when I did it like that.
That's good. Did you circle the whole thing? Yeah, just be careful, because they're going to probably ask you either denominator or numerator. It just should be one answer. One number. Let me put it that way. Okay, so look at this one. A lot of guys have been just not working it out. I know this seems silly to some of you, but you want to work it out before you jump on an answer. So 3/8 divided by 4/5. I got to keep change flip it. Okay. Let's look and see. Well, I was thinking something would simplify, but it doesn't. So it's 15 over 32. And my denominator is 32. If they ask you numerator, then it would be the top number. Okay. This next one, I like, but it's hard. I'm waiting on attention, because this is not easy. This is hard. Look at this thing. If Joey wants to divide 3/8 divided by 4/5, which method should he use? I want you to look at something, though. In here, they have the word reciprocal. Okay? And that has to do with division. And it has to do with that flipping over thing, right? What I would do first is write down the problem. I'm not saying solve the whole thing, but maybe look at it as, what if I flip this? I would keep the 3/8, change it to multiply, and flip it over to 5/4. Which fraction did you reciprocal? The 3/8 or the 4/5? 4/5. So that's the first thing you want to look in these definitions or sentences or whatever. Did you reciprocaled 4/5, right? The reciprocal of 4/5. Did you reciprocal 3/8? No, we didn't reciprocal 3/8. Get rid of that one. Did we reciprocal of 3/8? No. So these two are wrong. Now go back up to these. Did we divide the reciprocal of 4/5 by 3/8? Okay, so look at the words. We divided 5/4 by 3/8. Did we divide the reciprocal? No. Listen, look at it. We multiplied 3/8 by the reciprocal of 4/5. We did 3/8 times 4/5. Do y'all see why it's the multiply one? 3/8 by the reciprocal of 4/5 and multiplying. You got to pick that thing apart, guys. It's not easy. Okay, and it's probably not B on the test, so don't get it memorized that way either. Okay, pick it apart. Looking at the next part, we've got solving equations. Guys, if they want you to solve it, they want you to figure out x. Okay, here we go. I know we talked about a few of these yesterday, so I'm going to go kind of fast. It leaves me with x equaling 16. The next one, if it's times 50, the opposite is divide of 50. Leaving you with 7. Trying to do my quick math. Okay, this one, it's b divided by 12. So the opposite is times 12, which is 84. Okay, this one, this is times 2.3. So divide by 2.3. Leaves me with x equaling 9. Because you got to bring the decimal over once and bring the decimal over once. Okay. This one, I know we kept saying we weren't doing a bunch of fractions. We're not. We're doing this style of fraction. Don't let this flip you out. You've been doing this since 4th grade. Look at it. If it's a plus 2/7, you know the opposite is minus 2/7. Now, right here, you know those disappear, leaving you with r on that side of the equation. But look at the other side. They don't have a common denominator. So if I skip count by 21s and 7s, 21 is my LCM, my lowest common multiple. And I do 7 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. It is subtraction. So 10 minus 6 is 4/21. I know it has to do with fractions, but it shouldn't be too hard. That should be an easy one. Okay, and 4 times x, the opposite is divide. Okay. Now, on the next part, this is where we're going to write in inequality. We're not matching yet, that's on the test, but we're going to write in inequality. So it says each math class has a minimum of 25 students. I know we already talked about this one, so I'm going to do C for class, 25. The smallest number I can have is 25. So it can be equal to 25 or bigger or more. My class can be 25 or more. On number 16, Miss Donahue needs at least 4 cups of coffee each morning. That's probably about true. I'm going to do D for Donahue and 4 on the other side. If I need at least 4, then I need 4 or more. That means the D needs to be more. Not the 4, the D. This side, whatever variable you have. Good on that one? Okay. Looking at this one, I know we talked about this one yesterday. It is just a photocopy situation, meaning when we copied it, you would use any variable, 4 on the other side. We talked about that's an open circle, and it's shooting off to the left, so X would be less than, I'm losing my mind, less than 4. Not like it's open, so that is the symbol. Remember, we talked about this. I don't know which class I've reiterated this in, but if it has these symbols, we need open circles. If it has these symbols, we need closed circles. Okay, this one, we're not matching, we're just writing it. We got X, we got -2, kind of hard to tell. I tried to show the classes that this side was highlighted. So we need it to be greater than or equal to. That is a shaded in circle. That -2 is colored in, so we have to have that equals 2 sign. That is a very quick and easy way to miss a question. To jump on the first answer you see and say, oh, that's right. Make sure you have that. Yes?
I kind of do like the other way around, like the 2 is on the other side, and like the X is on the other side. I guess like I flip the symbols off.
But if you flip the symbol, you're good. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's okay. That's good. Okay, on the back. Here we go. These just took time. I mean, it's and they're not as long as they look, but you've got to test out all 4 numbers. Taking this equation, or sorry, inequality. I'm going to take 19 and put it where y is. Yeah, we did some of these in each class. I'm just kind of doing it in case I have anybody at home and checking it, like anybody who needs to see this video. So 24, is it less than or equal to 25? Yes. And then I'm going to do 20 plus 5. I'm going to tell y'all, there are some of y'all that on the real test missed this question. You might have only missed 1 point for it because there was so many points in there when you do all 4 problems. But slow down. A lot of you said no to this because all you saw was the less than sign. But 25 is equal to 25, so it is a yes. $26 less than or equal to 25? No. And then 22 plus 5 is 27 less than or equal to 25? No. Okay. There's many of you that missed that one right there. It didn't look like you missed a bunch because they were all like 1 point. I will tell you though, if you miss 1 on this 9 weeks test, it's 4 points off. So you want to take it slow and like make sure you're including it. On number 20, I'm going to try to fit it in here. I got 22 minus 10. So I got 12 is less than 14. Yes. Now I'm going to do 23. Is 13 less than 14? Yes. This is the one that some of you missed. You need to look at your paper and see if you got this right. Is 14 less than 14?
Nope.
No. And I bet there's more than one of you that circled that answer or told me yes on that. And then the last one, 25. less than minus 10? Is 15 less than 14? No. But it has to do with these same numbers being on each side. Many kids miss them. Because that one doesn't have an equal to sign. So y'all told me yes on that one. Just giving you a hint there. Okay. On number 21, in class yesterday we talked about it. I tried to point out that the graph is not lovely. If you were trying to get from the library to the school.
Hey, teachers, I apologize for this brief interruption. But because of the issue with the water line break and trying to ensure everyone's safety, students, after you use the bathroom, please make sure that you use hand sanitizer in the teacher's classroom. It's okay if you wash your hands in the sink, but you still will need to use hand sanitizer when you return to the classroom. Teachers, we have a lot of extra hand sanitizer. If you need to get you any, just send me a text. Thanks.
Okay, like they already announced it. The water's not on right this second. Okay, so the school. Shh, listen.
Also, teachers, please be aware of the email that was sent out from Mr. Kingston from ACS. Thanks.
I'll have to look at that later. Okay, the school is basically from 0 to 4. So that is a 4 distance. But the library is at -1. So 4 plus the 1 would be 5. You don't have to write units, but that's what it is, because we don't know if it's miles or feet or yards or whatever. Okay, the ordered pair for the location of home. We talked about ordered pair, X and Y. For home, and home is right here. I need you to check your paper right now, because y'all are zoning out on me. It is over 4 and up 5. You cannot have this in a different order. It's 4, 5. If you have 5, 4, it's backwards and it's wrong. If you choose something like -4 and -5, it's wrong because it would be down here. Okay? Please stop, guys. Okay, the last part. I don't consider it real funny, considering this is a 100-point test in a couple days. The 3 symbols you should be choosing are those 3 symbols. Now, -4 and -1. Basically, you can just look at the whole numbers. -1 is bigger because it is closer to 0. Okay, number 24. When you see the 2 bars, that means change it to a positive. That means that is really a 3. That is a -3. That means that symbol. Slow down. A few of you have missed these and you're not noticing it. 8.5 is just like saying 8.5. Well, 8 and 3, 6. 3/6 simplifies to 8.5, like it is a half. So they are equal. Decimals and fractions. Y'all had a whole memorization test. You should know that 0.5 is the same as 1/2. They are equal. Okay, on number 26, -10 inside the absolute value really means 10. This side is 10, so they are equal. Listen, don't just assume something. Check it. Make sure. Okay, the last 3 we talked about a little bit yesterday. If they want you to simplify it, they want you to just clean it up. You can't solve it because we didn't tell you what M is. So using distributive property, this is where we would do 7 times M is 7M. We would bring down the plus sign and we would do 7 times 2. Many of you missed that part on the test because you told me 7M plus 2. But you got to distribute the 7 to everybody. So the M and the 2. Any questions on that one? I don't mind. Y'all are quiet. On simplifying this expression, you can't solve it once again because we don't know X and we don't know X. So, if we put these together, 6x plus 2x is 8x. Don't forget the plus 5. I can tell you right now, a lot of you got points off on the test because you forgot the plus 5. On the 9 weeks test, there might be an answer that is 8x. But if you forget the plus 5, it's wrong. Okay, last one. This is where we solve it. We do solve it because there is x equals 3 and y equals 12. So if I go in here, I fill in x for 3, and then it says y is 12. Listen, I need you to see something for the rest of your algebra world. Do you see how once you filled them in, there's no more letters? You're done with the letters, aren't you? That means that should scream at you that, hey, you can get down to just one number answer. You can solve this thing. You got to use order of operations, though. When you see all these symbols, pluses and minuses, and multiplies, that should scream at you, hey, use order of operations. So what should we do first? Multiply, subtract, or add? Multiply. So that is 21. Bring down the rest of it. Should I do subtract or add? Subtract, because from left to right, we do subtract or add. We get 11 plus the 12, and in the end it is 23. Listen, y'all didn't ask me questions. I don't know if it's because I'm videoing or what. Kind of worries me, because the rest of my classes, they've asked a lot of questions. Today, right now, I finished mine in class. I sat down first period. We had about the same amount of time, and I finished it. What I would do is this. Keep that study guide on your desk. And then if you need to refer back to it while doing this one, you can. Tonight's homework is, or classwork, is to finish this study guide. It's kind of like one last hurrah to try to make sure we know what we're doing on this test. And this is what it looks like. And then on the back. It looks just like yesterday's, guys. It's just a little bit prettier and cleaner. Especially the coordinate plane is a lot prettier. So here we go. I'll pass them out. If you work right now, you probably won't have homework. You just do it, to be honest. So, I finished mine and it didn't take long. Okay, so finish this thing for homework. Have it ready tomorrow for a grade.